Okay, hello Kenyan, how are you? My name is Peter Kipenda sana, you can call me Rigi G. This is a panel of young Gen Zs, wale wenye wanatisha serikali. Anyway, we are not here to talk about kutisha serikali, but today we are here to talk about Rigi G, the impeachment of Rigi G. What is our view? And how do we feel inaweza kuwa ina affect the country? So, on my right, I have a friend. What's your name, bro?
Yeah, so hi everyone, my name is Abel and I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, on my side I'm Phillip, Akala, together with Uncle Gen Z. We're gonna be running this show together, yeah.
Yes, Abel, you can take us through the first question.
Okay,
The things that we'll be talking about.
definitely, there wouldn't be an impeachment without things that are brought against it. So I will be diving into the charges brought against the deputy president. So there were 11 charges that were brought against him, both in the Senate to be precise. So let me just read you through the pointers. One would be gross violation of the Constitution. We had undermining the president, His Excellency the President William Ruto. So undermining devolution, irregular acquisitions of wealth. We have publicly attacking a judge, intimidating the acting CEO of the Kenya Medical Supplies Authority, KEMSA, as you know, promoting ethnicity, mambo na Murima and all that. There is also insubordination of the president, intimidating public officers. The last two involvement in public practice in corruption practices, and the last charge is unethical behavior, contrary to leadership and integrity standards. So we saw that over the last 2 or rather 3 days there were those allegations that were brought against him. But as far as yesterday, we saw that 5 of the charges that were brought against him were approved. So maybe without even delving deep into the articles that are in the Constitution, maybe I can say the 5 of the 11 charges that were approved. One including corruption allegations, claims of amassing wealth unlawfully, including acquisitions that GACHAGUA concerned the sale of his late brother's property, the late Nderitu
Yeah,
GACHAGUA.
we can a bit mention on that. When we talk of this Nini, of course there was the Olive Garden Hotel, there was the Bipingo Beach Resort that were allegated that they said it was his property. But now, according to the charge and the evidence that he produced before the Senate, he stated that his late brother had written a will concerning the matter, na akasema kwamba that this late brother was in charge of these companies. And for example, like the Pingo Beach Resort, which is still in the name of his brother, bado haijakuwa transferred. And this Olive Garden Hotel, aka state that it was sold by a third party to some other, So that was one of the allegations. I think just to mention about that, he confirmed that. So on your side, maybe you could continue about the next one.
The second charge that was approved, misuse of public office, where they were allegedly misusing his positions for personal financial gains.
Okay.
Where basically I think the point of acquiring wealth also gets to come here. There are some allegations that were brought by MP Mutesi on Mutuse. My apologies to the MP for Kibwezi.
My apologies too.
Kibwezi West MP.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so maybe I don't know, we can try to delve into what might these personal financial gains be, because that's a broad perspective rather than acquiring of property. And I don't know, what's your take on it, Peter? What do you think on it?
Personal gain in the public office, the misuse of the public office, I guess. First read all of them.
Okay.
We'll try to talk about one by one.
So the third one was the involvement in coercive transactions, where there was pressuring individuals to sell assets under questionable circumstances. we saw.
I think hiyo nime-mention pia kwa hiyo nini.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So the fourth charge was undermining public institutions, such as accusations of disrespecting and demeaning the National Intelligence Service and other public officers.
Okay.
I think we saw that especially during the 25th June maandamano, where he called a press conference when he was in Mombasa to
to talk about it.
Exactly, try to bring Norin Haji into accountability of what his work was actually supposed to be, or rather what he did not do. So the fifth one was failure to adhere to the constitution, where they were allegedly violating constitutional norms in his conduct as a deputy president. I think that will be, in regards to how he normally speaks, or how he airs his views, where he gets to talk more, put more pressure or emphasis on story
it also reminds me of this time when he was speaking just before he showed up for, I think it was for the Senate. Before he first showed up for the Senate, he had called a Senate a theater house or something. So the senators before the allegations were read before him, and judgments made that day, that particular day. I think it was the first day. When was it? And he was asked to apologize, and he never apologized. He went directly to his matter. So he had called, the Senate, or rather these people who are civil servants working for the government, that they are, it's like a theater hall, or people are just joking around. So I think that was one, it's also one of the misconducts in terms of his speech, because he could just utter some words which show that out of maybe pain or distress or something, you realize he was not keen with his words. That was much more about the allegation, because you realize even about the ethnicity and stuff, he actually was talking so much of, we are talking about a nation, right? We are talking about a person who is to serve an entire nation. But in his agenda, in as much as he wanted to unite the people from Mount Kenya, he still brought it to an extent, like it was like he idolized, the stuff of Mount Kenya, rather than talking of the entire nation. So that's what was the glory and the strength of that allegation.
Yeah, exactly. And also on top of that, adding the point of Kenya being a company and of shareholders, that also puts salt in the wound, you get, because you can't be the president, you can't be the deputy president, you can't be the second person in charge or in command, and you're talking about the running the nation as a company or as a business. It doesn't make sense, not feasible enough.
Exactly.
In regards of whether you want to mount it on how you guys was part of the manifesto for the UDA, it still doesn't make sense, because if Akala, you're the president or you're the deputy president, I think it would be more feasible for you to get out of that cocoon that you had basically during that manifesto, and just become the deputy president for everyone. So
I guess we can start from there. The way he tries to the way he tries to hear things. Is it positive to the Kenyans, or it impacts the Kenyans negative? So what's your take about the way he expresses things? Like, Kenya is a stakeholder. It's
a matter of like a shareholder.
It's a shareholder. You need to have a stake in it. And like, sasa usiguze mlima. That we know what he talks about it.
Yeah. Okay. On the issue of shareholding or stake, you are a public servant, right? And your employers are the people of Kenya. You get, you are here to serve us as the entire Kenya, and not as watu wa Mrima alone, and not as people of your designated ethnic group. You understand? So also him bearing in mind that he was once an MP. You get, he was once an MP. He must have understood the what it takes for you to be a leader over people. You get? So for me, I don't feel like it is like, for me, I can call it a misconduct too, because I don't feel like if you have been you've passed through being a member of parliament, and now you have been promoted to become the deputy president of of the Republic of Kenya. It shows that there is a level of trust, or there is a level of discipline that it has taken you to reach there. And also there is a mandate, or there is an obligation you are tasked as the DP of Kenya, not as now. So I still feel maybe that he has got still the spirithood of an MP and not rather a DP. Because you know, as an MP, for example, I'm an MP of someone somewhere region, you get. So I'm able to air just the views of that region before the Senate or before the parliament at large, you get. So for him, I feel like bado akona ile moyo ya, you know, UMP. He has not yet become with the mindset of a deputy president.
Though would you, while on that point, would you feel as if that is his own strategy of trying to create a strong base for him to be the kingpin in regards to when he will be vying for the president? Do you think it's somewhat related? What's your take on that?
Okay, my take concerning that, I may say is okay, a good number of people from Mount Kenya normally determine they are among the influential people in the nation, right? Either in terms of business or in terms of maybe political decisions, you know, like for example, we saw in during the times of Uhuru, the times of TNA, when they did their campaigns and everything, that in 2012, you know, 2013, hapo and hapo, you realize that the people of the Mount Kenya region, watu wa Mlima, they are very influential people, and they can decide on whom to be president and whom not to be president, you get.
But what is our take about this word? Kenya is a state of shareholders. So how can you say about this?
Okay, on the matter of shareholding, I don't know from what perspective he meant, or from what perspective Gachagua meant, because we could understand the issue of shareholding from two different perspectives. Number one, the first perspective would be he wanted to mean like in terms of, okay, he wanted to mean well, and the second one, he would also mean something which is not what we intended him to mean, and that is what carries weight. Like most of the people felt like he spoke it in a way that, you know, it was never to mean positivity, because we look at this business term, it is a business term, right? Shareholder. A shareholder, this is is a person or a member of a certain company, or a certain registered private or public or parastat or something, who has the due charges to exec or to partake of meetings and everything, and the profits that come with the business. The profits and the losses. So when he says that the government or such is about the matter of shareholding, inatuonyesha, like, you know, as a shareholder, the benefit you get, despite it being for the business, you are looking at myself, my investment. I invested shares worth 1.2 M. How will it perform by the end of this financial year? You get, I expect some returns, or how will the business perform? So it's like to them, like to me, it sounded like if Kenya performs well, then the benefit comes to them. That is how the matter of a shareholder, like the concept of a shareholder, like the business now, Kenya, which now they are taking it to be a business, which it shouldn't be a business, right? Because it is a nation. We are working towards achieving something, a common goal as a nation. So if you're treating it as a business, then you are there with a business-minded person. You're not a person who is willing to help the nation. So it's like it's more of selfish kind of terminology. Yeah.
Okay, so I don't want to put much emphasis on that due to the interest of time.
Okay.
But I feel as if when the deputy president was actually trying to defend himself, and he held the press conference to actually tell us what his view on that shareholding was, he talked about, and he referred us back to the UDA manifesto of how they had agreed when they sat upon. They said, when we win, so and so will be this, so and so will take this one, so with that. But okay, he mentioned that it was basically a share of power, but it wouldn't affect resources. How resources would be shared.
I get your point.
But you see, the thing is, politics and economics are related. It's like yin and yang. One has to survive. One survives because of the other. You know? Politics being, you know, how power is being distributed well. Economics is how resources are distributed. Exactly. So the moment you become the deputy president, I mean you become the president, and you know you say that nataka kwenda kushughulikia watu wangu kutoka east side, like, and then you like focus on this point do ati when you shareholder ama you know your people brought this type of whatever, then that would mean that in a certain region you will focus on development and, you know, service delivery, while another person that did not vote for you ama you had a lower chance, lower, you know,
I get you.
lower votes, you see it's going to bring a lot of, you know, economics, not even economic stability, it's going to bring that in a irrationality and exactly there won't be that peace and there won't be that fairness, and that's why you see hiyo part ya shareholding ndio imemweka into hot soup na kuongelea na, you know, you add salt on the wound ukienda kuongeza watu wa Murima, because watu wa Murima is not people who are coming from western region, it's not people who are coming from coastal region. We know the region he wants to talk about, and you see that's putting him in a lot of soup, and that is why we are seeing, fortunately or unfortunately, he's being impeached.
Do you mean like let me say, when you talk about Murima, the Kenyan view, Murima is Gikuyu, but Murima
Central region to be precise.
Central region, but the basic things that people talk about it is Gikuyu tribe. So does it mean that Gikuyu has benefited much from this world since we elect Ruto?
Well, if I can be honest, not even before we even elected Ruto, even when we elected, let's say Kibaki and, you know, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, because all of them they come from the one tribe, the same tribe basically. But you really can't say if you've walked around, if you've traveled around Central region, it's not as much as developed as people might think. Because if I can be honest, it all this that they normally say at times, or according to me, it's all just for you know, it's somewhat scripted. It's just for the show. It's just, you know, to blindfold people. But if I can be honest, I really don't believe the Kikuyu or that tribe or the Central region has benefited much from it. It's not as if like huko tukona like hospitali mingi ama kuna mashule mingi compared to a place like Nyanza ama compared to other places.
So okay, before I give my review about it, so like now we should say that when you talk about shareholding, in terms of how Kenyan view this thing, is like Gachagua tried to mean that the Gikuyu should benefit more.
Basically.
Yeah, basically that's how it was understood. You get
and
like,
if since Kibaki's time, these people have been benefiting. Should we consider what might have made them benefit from the government, or is it because of the tribal thing that made this tribe benefit from the government, or is it that the Kenyan feel like the Gikuyu are much over
or they are more superior?
They are more superior in terms of priority when it comes to shareholding of the government.
I get your question, and let me be honest with you. As much as, you know, there's all this talk of Murima, and, you know, there's this analogy that says that because Wakikuyu wanakuanga wengi basically.
Yeah, you are Gikuyu.
I'm one of them, so, you know, I've traveled around Central region. So I'm speaking from a point of, you know, understanding basically. We are a majority of the majority tribe in Kenya, but there is this perspective of attitude tumetoka in this certain region, ama we are from this tribe, we have a superior, ama there's like you know, adequate flow of resources that comes, but in all sense and in all vitu kwa ground venye zinakuanga, it's not really true that there's a lot of adequacy in resources. It's just a matter of talking. But at the end of the day, it all goes down to personal attributes and personal drive. So if I can be honest, the people from around Central region, they're very hardworking people. They don't need they are not waiting for persons to come to you to do like service delivery or something. They are very hardworking people. They are wanajitumanga basically, because we know definitely that yes, even if I go vote for my tribesman, haimaanishi yeye atakuja kwa nyumba yangu anipatie this like
the benefit of
or like ati in case to elect huyu 6k itaingia kwa account, 10k itaingia kwa account. That is just
it's
a
like
mindset
a
that exactly it's a notion, it's a mindset that has been put, but in real sense. And if you I don't know, maybe if you have ever been blessed enough to come and stay around the central region, you'll find that some of the things that are said by politicians from that region is totally different. Because let me just give you an example. A friend of mine was doing attachment around our place, and during that time GACHAGUA was really emphasizing on the part of this disunity among the Kikuyu people, this disunity of the leaders, but in all sense there was no disunity.
Okay, I think on that part of disunity, it reached a point where we could see when the DP and his president or our president were talking, or they were raising their agendas. At first, you see, UDA, it will take us, I think, to the next question, right? Because the next question will be like, how then is the next thing or the next stop after now? What
The
has
relationship,
happened?
the
Now,
effects.
okay,
the dynamics of things
because definitely there has to be that feeling like, okay, and Kenyans are expressing themselves, of course, we're seeing it on the news and everywhere, like there is something they feel concerning the relationship between the DP and the president. And a question would also be, I would like us to maybe to tackle this.
Before, let me give my view about the word shareholding.
Okay.
If all of us here, we have something that we need to attain, and we come and sit together and say we want to go to Kisumu, but we need a car, maybe a transport mean, and we need funds for fuel and even a driver. Let's say now we have all those things. So you might have an opportunity to fund in terms of fuel. I might have a strength to be the driver, the skill, to be the driver. And maybe you might have the car. So we are together and we want to go to Kisumu. Doesn't mean that we cannot partner for us to reach Kisumu. So you become a shareholder in the journey, whereby we have a purpose in Kisumu. You have a car. So you will bring your car on the table. You will bring your money. You will fund the fuel funds on the table. And I'll bring my skills on the table for us to reach where? Kisumu. So, like, in terms of the word shareholding, to may judge one man, we have killed one bull because of one term. But let us consider other terms. Like, who are the beneficiaries of this government? Does this mean this man alikuwa like, he used to talk is about Gikuyu, is about Murima? Nah, for real, Murima may benefit from the word. There is something that GACHAGUA is trying to put in. Also, I can say this, Gen Z to may lose. According to me as a Gen Z, may lose. Because that was the mall. That was a mall, our mall, my mall in the government. Are you getting? So we have lost because of one word, shareholding, of which as Kenyan, as educated people, we should have viewed it in another angle, other than judging a man using it.
Okay.
Tena, if he's a failure in terms of how he speak, the multi-party has a disciplinary committee.
Exactly.
This was not something that should
be aired or
exactly.
it should
this
be.
was not something that should look
wasn't
how
a pressing issue.
look
It
how
wasn't
the
a pressing,
parliament was
exactly.
the impunity of parliament was showcased because of such things. Like, these people cannot handle themselves. At least Senate tried, although we knew at last GACHAGUA will be impeached because those who are the self-benefit, or because of the self-benefits the people the political the political regime, the word is
the political party.
yeah, the political party wants this man out because maybe they have benefited from him. So now the relationship. Now where we are going to end our things in terms of relationship. Now we are expecting a new deputy president.
Enough.
But
I think the
can we consider like what will be the future? You know, I do
future
tell
of all
people
this matter.
like if you don't know the future, if you don't have that vision of future tomorrow, then you will not understand what you should take, what you should do today, and definitely will miss it. We have 3 years. The chances now they have impeached Gachagua, a man who could speak the truth, even if he's a man of makosa mingi, it's okay. But now wataeka a man in terms of interest the
Interest
party,
of the political party.
not because of interest of citizens, but because they want to prove like now this man is worthy. So it means like if we'll be electing people, like now mkona hizi impeachment ni mingi, Governor Kawira went. Why is it that as a citizen I should vote? Why do I deserve to vote?
So you're saying it makes members of the nation or the citizens to lack confidence in terms of the leadership or in terms of, because if we vote and still there is impeachment, then what's the essence of voting?
What is the essence of voting?
Okay.
If I will decide now to make I come from Machakos. I decide now to make my Wavina. That is the Honorable Wavina, the governor of Machakos. I voted for her, maybe. I don't think I voted for her, but maybe. Then, unfortunately, now the MCS decides now to impeach her.
Impeach her, okay.
Maybe I needed the Whiter, Honorable Whiter. He was an opposition. So
From the opposition party, okay.
it's CCN. He also wanted the chair. Maybe I voted for him. And unfortunately, Wavina won. Am I going to support the thing that Wavina should be impeached because I needed Whiter?
It does not make sense.
It does not make sense because the key fact is the future.
Is the
What
future.
is this that Wavina has brought on the table that can benefit what? Kenyans. So what is this that, like now let us consider the presidential chair. Now it was the big two, Raila and Ruto. For me, basically I voted for Ruto. Amakamba, I voted for Ruto. The reason why I voted for Ruto, it is because of the manifesto. Are you getting that one? The future that this man brought on the table. It made sense for me to vote for him. I didn't mean I didn't vote for Raila because it didn't make sense. But I saw a quite large number of benefits in this side. Now, just imagine, now if we will do so, then people will do what? Will impeach him. Are you getting that? Does it mean that what I deserve, what I feel I know, it is what should be right? Are we not able to assess the fact? Like, bro, you know it.
So
I know it.
So then it will bring me to ask this question. There are those definitely who approved of this impeachment, and those who did not approve. So do you feel as if those who did not approve are losing trust in the government day passes by? And for those who probably approved of the deputy president being replaced and being done away with, do you feel as if the person who might be elected might clear the mistakes or rather do the work the deputy president ought to be doing if he's not doing to his capability?
The chances are minimal because we don't know who will be elected,
That's true.
And
as the deputy president. Second, this man will be a mole, not a mole, like a puppet to the government, because now he'll have to subject, because it's something that it is an opportunity that he has been given by the party. Not by the Kenyan people.
Not by the Kenyan people.
So let us expect a fall, a failure, still to the government. Even if they try 100%, still let us. I do expect still the failure, because now interest itakuwa wao, not the Kenyan people. So if we will gain, look, the thing of Adani, this thing has been going on and I think next new we should talk about it. This thing has been going on. It has been aired. Mali unapata like no. Ni two leaks, the malls were leak. So meaning inge happen. So whom do we have in this government that can tell people what is going on?
Okay.
That's an interesting point.
Okay.
Now let's talk about the relationship. Now this thing,
The relationship DP
and the future of Kenyan. What do you expect? Like your view about what do you expect as a Kenyan? Now this thing has happened. Our deputy president is impeached, and there's a relationship between the president and the deputy president. We had a relationship between the deputy and the citizens. Now we have to adapt
again to
a new person. Okay. What do you think the relationship will be?
It's a tough question because when we look at what you've said, I think before that, I think I support what you say in terms of the UDA, in terms of okay, for the UDA, first of all, when we are talking about the relationship between the DP and the president, we realize that the party itself will now maybe subject the next person who will come in the deputy presidential seat to propel the agenda of the UDA party, or rather to propel, like he'll be more of like not as free as Gachagua was, because he will be like,
he'll be confined basically to
the agenda of the party,
exactly,
rather than the agenda of the people.
Service delivery.
Yes, other than service delivery to the people of Kenya. So chances are very high, it might or it might not be true, but chances are very high the UDA party will not want to fail again. Because in terms of losing a deputy president, to them it's like, it's like a failure, because it has depicted a negative show towards the trust of.
But they wanted it. It is not people's idea. It wasn't our idea as citizens. It was the party's idea, and the supporters. Now let us talk about the broad-based government. Let's just say it was the broad-based government's idea that they should impeach this person.
Okay. So I think then the relationship, it might be tricky, because you see, when the new DP, of course, the parliament, they are holding that meeting to confirm or to talk about this issue of debating for the next, the next person in the seat. I feel like there needs to be created a new bond or a sense of communication. So that's my feeling in terms of the DP and the president, so that they don't bring this chaos again. You get, and I don't think also the UDA party leaders will allow such kind of miscommunication and all that. It's important that the president and his deputy should be in position to understand one another. Also, as I finally on the point. You realize there was this time when the president there was this time when he was not aware of what was it, when the DP was being impeached, right? There was this time when there came rumors. It was not so much but rumors that the president was even not aware that the DP is going to be impeached. Communication, trust between the
rumors.
Two people. Yeah. Okay.
So maybe my final remarks will be a little bit brief, because when you run for an office, the intent would be on service delivery, but at times, as a human being, it's default to come with other agendas, and time has showed us, and the history has showed us that is true. So I think if or whoever might be elected might push an agenda that is maybe from the political party rather than from the people, I would really urge, and I would really wish, as a Kenyan youth and as a Kenyan citizen who wants to see who would want to live in this country, as someone who is proud to be a Kenyan, I would wish that the next deputy president who will be elected would rather focus or put more attention on service delivery rather than having other political agendas or personal agendas, basically, because at the end of the day, you are there for a short term, and you are there to serve the people. So let me just narrow down, not only just for the deputy president, but for every leader who has been elected to represent the people. Focus on service delivery. That's my final remark on that. Service delivery. That's what I should focus on.
Okay, and to me about the relationship. So it means if we have a new deputy president, now the broad-based, we elected the Huda, our government that we elected was Huda, but now we have the broad-based government. So now the broad-based government should prove us wrong as citizens, and that's why I should tell Kenyans we should not be happy about this thing. Ever. We should not try to be happy about it. But can we be keen of every step that this government takes? Because if we are not keen, definitely there are some of the things that we'll miss. Because now we don't have a mall. And let me call my former deputy president now as a mall. Because he used to hear things. He used to view people's will. I get in that one.
Yeah.
The key factor was people's will. So if being called Malaya, let me use that word, being called Malaya was a mistake, I feel to me it was the word should not be, it should have not been used to judge this man. This was something that should have been taken into the party's disciplinary committee.
Yeah, exactly.
So for me, the relationship might be tricky for me to adapt to adapt with the deputy president to be, even if it's somebody that I love. Because now it means now the big 5 agendas that I was expecting from the government, they have begun to fall. I get it. Secondly, KEMSA has been having so many things. Kutoka enzi za uhuru. So, till bringing that as a motion of impeachment for a deputy didn't make sense to me. So it means it was something constructive, that we don't need this thing. For me, current president, let us love, let us embrace, but all these people that we have elected, MCAs, MPs, Senate, let us do away with the word of impeachment, even if the Constitution gives us under Article 150B, 151B, or 150, 145, even if they give us that authority to impeach, it doesn't make sense unto us. Because I'm the people's elected leader, not MCA's elected leader, not MP's elected leader. People voted for me. People made that choice for me. So if I will be the president, then the parliament will now decide to give us another president. It doesn't make sense. If I be the president, now I'll be the governor, now the MCA has decided to impeach me, the deputy, to become the governor. That was not the agenda of the people. So it means we are losing it. And the relationship will be quite tough as Kenyans, and that's why Gen Z, we should not divide ourselves in terms of our interest. Let us take accountability, be accountable, and monitor the government so that we can understand the next step.
Yeah.
That's what I can say. And this marks the end of our first show.
Yeah.
And here I am. My name is Uncle Gen Z.
This is Abel.
Abel.
Alongside is Phillip, Akala. I think you can. Wow. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for listening us.
See you next time. Next
Bye.
week. It is just a beginning. Thank you.